Hi, and welcome to the Olive Drab Alliance. Let's take a quick look and size comparison of a couple of the more popular Coleman Single Burner Stoves. Alright, starting out with the smallest one I have here today. This is the Coleman Feather 400B. This particular one was made in 1995. This model's measuring at about 4 inches in width at the fuel tank, and give or take about 5 1/4 at the burner top. Now this little guy is pretty unstable, but they've got a built-in magic trick. Look at this. On the bottom there's these fold-out feet. 3 of them. Look at that. Moving up in size a little bit, we've got the Coleman 550B, and this one was manufactured in 1995. Again, we've got 3 little feet on the bottom for extra stability. You can see how they stack up. The 400B is slightly taller than the 550, but the 550 is a little bit wider. And unlike the 400B, the 550 is just as wide at the burner top as it is at the fuel tank, where the 400B kind of tapers upward a little bit toward the top of the unit. Going a little bit further back in time and a little bit larger in size, we've got the Coleman 502. This one was made in 1965. And it's substantially larger than the other two I have here today. Let's see. Including the pump handle that sticks out and the valve that sticks out, you're looking at about almost 6 inches in width. As far as height, it's about somewhere in the middle of the other two. The 400B is about 5 1/2 inches tall. The 502 is about 5 1/4. And the 550 is right at about 5 inches in height. The 502 does not have any stabilizer feet, but the bottom is nice and wide and gives you that platform for stability when you're cooking. Even though the 502 is the widest of the single burner stoves, with the feet extended on even the smallest, you get a little bit more of a footprint for stability. There are a lot of single burner Coleman stoves out there. These are just 3 that I happen to have, and they're 3 of the more popular ones. And these stoves have become really popular over the last couple years, thanks in large part to the overlanding community, the van life type community, or even people just looking to go backpacking. Now, these aren't as light or as small as like a rocket stove, which would take up less space and give you less weight in your backpack. These do have a certain, let's say, retro appeal to them. They're just cool. And while rocket stoves put off a lot more BTUs and can boil water a lot quicker than these can, these are a lot better at low temp cooking, simmering, things like that. So if you want a more controllable heat, a more controllable flame, this might be something you want to look into. The 502 is one of my favorites just because it's classic, it's cool, and you've seen me use it a lot of times here on the channel. And I also like it because I got mine with the awesome cook kit. Look at this. There's a pot, there's a handle, there's also a skillet that the handle can hook into also. And everything just fits in here nice and neat. So whether you're an overlander, a backpacker, a car camper, or somebody who's just looking for a way to cook food in the outdoors or in a grid down situation even, and you've been considering getting a Coleman Single Burner Stove, you really can't go wrong. But be aware there are some size differences, there are some temperature control differences from one model to the next. And they don't necessarily get better as they get newer. One of the main differences between this stove and the other two is this is a multi-fuel stove. You could run these other two off gasoline, stuff like that. And even though this is a multi-fuel stove, if you run it off gas, it's going to get dirtier and clogged up quicker. So if you can, stick with that Coleman fuel, no matter what model you're using. Things will run cleaner, things won't get gunked up as quick. Overall, you'll be happier in the long run if you stick with that Coleman fuel. So let's compare these stoves in size with a common item. Look at this. There's a knockoff GI issue canteen. So this is about how big they are. Everyone knows the size of this. Well, maybe not everyone. I got viewers all around the world, so I apologize. But that's how they stack up in size. Your standard 12-ounce beer can. This beer can happens to be empty. So if you're somewhere out there in YouTube land and you're trying to decide whether or not you should get a Coleman Single Burner Stove, my opinion is yes, you should. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. If you pick one up and it's got a little bit of an issue, they're easy enough to fix. The parts are readily available. So pick one up. You can't go wrong. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, please feel free to do so. I look forward to hearing from you. And what? You haven't subscribed yet to the Olive Drab Alliance? You know better than that. Hit that subscribe button. It's easy. It's free. It won't hurt you a bit. Anyway, I'll see you all down the trail somewhere. Until then, have a great day.